The Buffalo Bills just got faster and deeper ahead of their Sunday matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bills Mafia today, I want to break that down. But before we get into it, if you haven't heard about our channel before, thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Colin. This is Crack the Table. We're all Bills, no breaks, breaking down Buffalo Bills content every single day. If you're looking for a new home with Buffalo Bills content every single day, make sure to smash the subscribe button. Join our community. I just welcome you in. But let's get right into it. I want to talk right here about these moves that we saw our team make today. The first and foremost of them all is Mecole Hardman elevated from the practice squad. So he is not a practice squad player anymore. He's actually activated on our 53-man roster, and so he's part of that. And it isn't just adding a guy. It's also releasing Brandon Codrington, who's been our kind of return specialist in a corner by definition there. But we've activated formally TJ Sanders from the injured reserve, which means he's going to be back with the team soon enough and probably playing tomorrow. But also from the practice squad, we've elevated Gabe Davis, the wide receiver. We know him full and well. But Kaleki Latu from the practice squad as well as tight end because I believe Dalton Kincaid, as we know, is out. And so just a corresponding move right there. But again, this isn't just roster shuffling. I believe this is adding real talent. I want to break that down today and how that actually affects our team and our roster. But again, finally, within this, I believe the injury setbacks that we've had in previous weeks are seemingly coming to a close with all of the guys having full participants in practice. This roster is truly getting deeper when it matters most down the stretch. But the first guy I want to talk about is Mecole Hardman. And there's a lot to be said about Mecole Hardman, but his speed, especially that we're familiar with, both as a wide receiver but also as a punt returner, are very important to be talking about. Again, even with potentially not a volume of targets on Sunday in the game, his presence will force defenses to defend against vertical threats, which means boxes are going to potentially open up, that linebackers are going to have to play a little bit more loose, and that especially safeties can't play up and can't probably blitz as much as maybe they have in the past. But again, he brings an instant field flipping upside as a wide receiver. But frankly, the thing that I want to be talking about with Mecole Hardman is actually his punt return ability. If you look right here on the screen with me, actually, if we go this way, if we scroll down here, these are just punt return yards. If you look at the NFL and you look at, who's the most right now, we've got Parker Washington with 266 yards so far. But we got to scroll down and look at all these teams. We've got to scroll all the way down to 30th overall. Brandon Codrington with only 58 return yards so far this season. That is not good. Instantly, we get a guy, I believe this is how our team is going to be using him, especially because he's only been here for a couple weeks and doesn't know all the plays, doesn't know the whole system. My guess is that he's going to be our punt returner. And you know what? Throughout his career, Mecole Hardman has averaged 9.2 yards per return, but even last year, he was doing over 10 yards per return. Anything above 9 yards per return is pretty great. And again, that's a reliable weapon that we're going to be adding right to our team right now on those punts. Again, that hidden yardage, it truly flips fields, and it's really going to be helpful in this game against the Buccaneers. But again, he adds a real stability and explosiveness both at the receiver position, but also here again in the punt return position. He has 89 career punt returns, playoff experience. Again, he's got proven production. He's not a super old guy. He's still in his mid-late 20s. But again, he gives Buffalo both security and upside. But the other guy I think we do need to continue to talk about is TJ Sanders, who's giving us again on the interior defensive line more pass rush juice. Again, with him back, and he had a couple of flashes early on in the season. With him, Deion Walker, Okunjobi, and I believe Daquan Jones back, we're going to have a fresh rotation. He's probably going to get some snaps pretty quickly, and he's also going to continue to, I believe, ascend as a rookie. But the other guy that we need to talk about here is Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis has been elevated from the practice squad, right? One of those 3 opportunities that he has from the practice squad to the active roster. So he's going to be playing tomorrow, pretty much confirmed, because you don't do that with a practice squad guy unless they're guaranteed to play. But with that, he's probably going to get out there, and my guess is him and Josh Palmer, and even potentially, as we talked about, Mecole Hardman might add some extra juice to our receiving core that we just haven't seen this year. Again, if we look around the room, like with Khalil Shakir banged up with a rib injury, our leading receiver, and now Dalton Kincaid being out, and we added Latu off the practice squad, but we've been really thin in the receiving core with guys who can make big plays, who can get separation, and can get down the field. It's gonna be interesting to watch tomorrow if Joe Brady makes a move, or if Joe Brady gives us some juice around the edge with the scheme. But again, these aren't just bodies; these are target upgrades. Gabe Davis already has the lingo down. He's got the playbook down. He's got the synergy with Josh Allen. He's probably gonna get 3 or 4 or 5 targets tomorrow. But again, Hardman with the speed and the punt return, but then also the interior pressure with Sanders. Now we'll see if Sanders can stop the run. We haven't quite seen that, but my guess is he's going to get down there and get in there a lot on third downs. But again, all of this feels like the start of the Bills making a step forward, especially coming off a terrible loss to the Dolphins. Tomorrow is a must-win game against the Buccaneers if we're going to stay in this contention for the AFC East. But even with that being said, I want to move on to talk a little bit about score predictions. If we look at the screen right now, there's 10 score predictions and there's 10 people, but only 9 of them are picking the Bills. Frankly, you'll love to see that regardless. But the thing that I think is really important to note is that a lot of these scores are eerily close. It's really a 3 to 4 to 5 point game. And a lot of times, Vegas odds, but also even commentators or the national media, they'll give about 2.5 or 3 points to the team. So almost everyone's rolling with Buffalo except for Adam Rank. He's kind of the only one who's standing out, and he does that a lot when he makes these picks. But then multiple analysts, again, have the Buffalo Bills scoring over 30 points. When we score over 30 points, we win most games. Our defense really, for the majority of the game against the Dolphins, even this last week, held them to about 16 points. We had some late game failures, and we let some big plays off. But our defense last week had a pretty good game against the Dolphins. One of the big questions of the game for me is going to be, are we going to win the turnover battle? But even for you right now, what do you think the score prediction is going to be? How many points do you think the Bills are going to win by tomorrow? Drop it down in the comments. I appreciate that whenever you do that. But again, the margins, as we see in these scores, are pretty razor thin. This is a good team. This Buccaneers team is not a bunch of pushovers. I think they're going to have a good game against us, and I do think that we come out with the win. But also, again, a Bills playoff or a Bills win here would really continually put us in the playoff conversation and potentially the AFC East conversation, which frankly, at this point, I'm a little concerned about with how good the Patriots have been. They only have 2 losses this season. That's a little concerning. But a couple last things kind of rounding up today's episode of Crack the Table. The first and foremost is that Josh Allen is on a historic pace. Guys, I don't know if you're realizing this, but it is wild that we've kind of normalized how good Josh Allen is. He currently has 284 total touchdowns, and he's only 4 behind Peyton Manning for most touchdowns a quarterback has made or gotten before the age of 30. We're literally watching a future Hall of Famer before our eyes. That's got to get us excited every single week, regardless of what team we're playing against. It's just fun to watch the best player play on the best team, and we got to be appreciative of that. But also, Cole Bishop, fun fact, he's the only player in the NFL, currently in the NFL, who has 40 tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 interceptions this season. Again, earlier this year, he struggled beginning, but I think it was more of a Taylor Rapp and Damar Hamlin and communication thing, and maybe just some injuries with Trey White in the cornerback room. But he has been showing that he's not just versatile, that he's not just good, that he is a future defensive cornerstone. Again, just a second-year guy, as a second-round pick, again, showing up every single week the last couple weeks, playing really, really well. But further, the Bills tight ends, check this out, even with Dalton Kincaid out, the Bills tight ends are producing at an elite level. Dawson Knox and even Jackson Hawes are playing really, really well this season. I know we just added Latu up, so we're going to still run 3 tight ends in this game, potentially some of those jumbo packages as well. But even with that, regardless of the injuries, we have over 700 yards and 7 touchdowns, which is top 2 in the NFL. A lot of that, of course, was with Dalton Kincaid, but Dawson Knox and Jackson Hawes know this system, and watch them and watch how Joe Brady uses them again tomorrow. But the fourth thing I want to talk about here again is James James Cook. James Cook constantly over 100 yards a game. He's averaging 102 per game right now, chasing, frankly, O.J. Simpson in some of his years. But again, Cook isn't just breaking out. He's becoming really continually the engine of this offense. I want to see the receivers, get some more yards. I'm really expectant of Josh Palmer to get maybe a 40-yard bomb this week. But regardless, the RB1 right now, James Cook, has been doing really, really well. And he's a week further out of his ankle injury, so he should be good to go. He should be out there and explosive. And even Vita Vea on the Buccaneers didn't seem like he was 100% with that tweak in his back. But again, the last thing is the Bills are becoming a powerhouse at home, specifically against NFC teams. Fun fact: since 2023. The Buffalo Bills are 6-0 at home against NFC teams, and they're winning 4 straight against NFC teams when they score over 30 points. So when the offense is rolling, when we get to a hot start, especially this last week when we didn't have that hot start against Miami, I don't believe we scored any points in the first half. We got to get the first. I wonder if this is even one of those games where we start with the possession, or if we win the toss, we take the possession rather than deferring. But regardless, we'll see what happens. I believe we start off hot. I believe we go down the field. The scripted plays have been really, really successful. We'll see what happens when we're off script, and how Josh Allen, James Cook, and this wide receiver core really adapt with some of these changes, or really this defense that we're going to be playing. But again, in all of it, lots to be excited about with this Buffalo Bills team. They are going to go in and have a great game tomorrow against the Buccaneers. I'm excited. Score prediction for me: I think we score 32 points this week, and I believe the Buccaneers score 28. So 32-28 is my score prediction. But let me know down in the comments what yours is. But in all of it, have a great day. God bless. Go Bills. See you later.